We're ready.
Simple, before lunch, we just went over a bunch of communications between Joe Morrison and Barry Croft, correct?
Correct.
Joe Morrison and Mr. Fox, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Musico and Mr. Fox, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Musico and Mr. Croft, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now in our timeline, we're around the time here of June 14th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we're looking at event number 11, right?
That's correct.
Okay, by this point in the significant events timeline, has Dan, your source, even had any contact with Mr. Croft or Mr. Fox?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, so we talked about an invitation that Mr. Musico issued to Mr. Fox, right? Come on Sunday, correct?
Objection, mischaracterization of the evidence.
Come on Sunday.
The exhibit was if you are coming Sunday.
Okay.
And now we'll argue whether or not that's an invitation.
No, but
yeah.
let's hear. You want to rephrase?
Thank you for the clarification. You saw that up on the screen, right?
I did.
Okay, and so what's on Sunday? What's happening on Sunday at Mr. Musico's residence and Mr. Morrison's shared residence?
So that's the mandatory FTX.
You say mandatory FTX, what does that mean?
So this was an FTX that Paul Bellar had put out to the group was going to be mandatory, and that if members of the group that were on wire didn't show up, they'd be purged or kicked out of the group.
Okay, thank you. Does Mr. Fox actually come to this event
He does not.
on the 14th?
The 14th, he does not come that day.
Okay, thank you. We saw earlier, and we didn't go through it, but we saw earlier exhibit number 108. To put that up, and it's been admitted. Can you tell me again what this is?
This is the training itinerary that Paul Bellar posted on wire for the training on the 14th.
Okay, so is that a few days ahead of time?
Yes, he posted it on June 9th.
Can you zoom into the top half? Okay, tell me about these tactics that are listed, if anything.
So it says basic fundamentals for new members, vehicle training as the following: vehicle maneuvers, driver down situation, convoy tactics, storage usage of the vehicle, how to operate in a vehicle using the A and B pillars, dismounting and moving around a vehicle, responding to contact, taking a possible hostile vehicle over.
Okay, second part of it.
Ambush tactics with the following: planned ambushes, opportunity ambushes, L-shaped ambushes, responding to an ambush flank. I don't know jack shit about ambushes, so this is all Baker and Dan's shit. I'm out. LMAO.
Okay. Medical.
Medical as the following: CPR, march. No, do not send us pictures of rashes in weird places for advice. We're not actually docs. Scene security. When is the right time to scream for a medic, and giving self-aid.
What's March?
It's the acronym for triaging massive hemorrhages, and then so March is massive hemorrhages, A is airway, R is respiration, C is circulation, and H is I forget what H means.
Okay, you can take it down. Thank you. All right. So we talked about who hosted, who attends.
A lot of Wolverine Watchmen, including the 3 defendants and CHS Dan.
Okay, and Dan is there. Is it recorded?
Yes, it is.
Is it live monitored?
Yes, it is.
We talked about the tactics that were practiced. Does Mr. Musico and Mr. Morrison talk to Dan about Barry Croft at training?
Yes, they do.
Let's take a look at exhibit 244.
I have it here.
Okay, hang on. Okay, And what is this?
These are wired chat logs from June, from the main chat.
And you're continuing is your, you know that the 614 training is coming. You're continuing to review and monitor the chat logs. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And is this a compilation of things that are being said around that time?
yes, these are from June.
Okay, thank you. And this is the wired chat logs in the main chat, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Their mission.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
44 is admitted.
Thank you. Can you put it up? You talked about this being a mandatory training, correct? Could you
That's
zoom in
correct.
In the top box. And this is Mr. Bellar, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and read the first two there.
All right, boys, I hate to do this, but it's necessary for the group to stay strong. The training coming up on the 14th is a mandatory one. If you cannot make it, for a very bad excuse, we'll be moving you to a separate chat room for inactive people to keep us active guys more open with our notifications and communication.
Thank you. You could go out and, so again, this is June. Could you go to the bottom of the page? Zoom in. What's happening here?
This is later in the same day. Pete Musico states, which one of you are truly ready to stand toe to toe against police and military with battle rattle on and take the chance of being a murderer? Because that's what they're gonna say.
Okay, next page. Two boxes.
This is from June 1st, later in the day on the main chat. Joe Morrison's tagged Levi Ethan, who TF said this was a militia.
What does TF stand for?
Who the fuck?
Okay, the second statement there.
Later on the main chat, Pete Musico stated, we have betrayed ourselves through our own complacency. It will be soon. We all have to stand up and do what needs to be done to fix it.
Okay, could you zoom in on the bottom half of the page? The member asking what training require on the 14th and Bellar responding. Tell us what Bellar says.
Yeah, so this is June 7th, 2020, main chat. Paul Bellar tags Caleb Franks, says at Franks, I was in EMS for 4 years. Beaker and I will be covering medical, but we're going to go over vehicle training, medical, and ambush tactics.
Okay, next page. Again, this is all still June before the training, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And those things that Mr. Bellar talked about in the last section, those were on the itinerary, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Tell me about this.
This is June 9th, 2020. This is the vetting chat. Joe Morrison stated, I'm ACAB myself and fuck the feds. Authority issues. Is that all authority or just gov? Because we do operate on a command structure.
Thank you. You can take that down. All right, let's get back to the actual training. Musical there, correct? Mr. Morrison is there. Mr. Bellar is there.
That's correct.
Okay. And at that time, you said that they did, that at least Mr. Morrison and Mr. Musico talked about Barry Croft, correct?
That's correct.
And who did they talk to about Barry Croft and Adam Fox?
They talked to CHS Dan about it.
Okay, can you take a look at exhibit 118, 116, and 117?
'16, 117, 118.
Yes.
I have them here.
Can you tell me what those are?
This is conversation between Joe Morrison, Pete Musico, and CHS Dan during the course of the training.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to move for their admission, Judge.
And I would just like confirmation that Mr. Bellar was not a part of any of these conversations or present when they took place. With that, I have no objection.
I can't tell you where Mr. Bellar was. He may have been there, he may not have been. I don't have that knowledge.
So you have no knowledge, but he wasn't involved in any of these conversations, correct?
He's
No,
not
he's
involved in
saying-
these clips.
Correct.
I don't know if he was involved, if he was standing around.
Okay, but
His
he's,
voice is not on those recordings, correct?
Correct. His
Okay,
voice
are
is
you
not
done?
there.
yes, I am.
Thank you.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted.
right, can you play, one, or actually, could you look at 118 and tell us what that is? Set that clip up, Brett.
Yes, so 118 is a discussion about Adam being the Michigan contact and his following on Facebook and how they met him.
Okay, just play 118, please.
So, we're just trying to get your head wrapped around it? Well, I'm trying to get a timeline of what we're doing. So Ohio was just like I said, meeting of the minds. To mildly coordinate or to put out a case, this is the direction we're walking for the case. Is there a follow on? Where is it? He's like the mission. Thousand, 9,000, 7,000 people. Yeah. Facebook. Well, he's got 5,000, sorry, Facebook wouldn't do 5,000, but I mean. Adam Dean, hold on. And, Anthony, why is fucking Kraft? How did Kraft friend? How did I friend Kraft? So, you're talking about 18. Is that gonna really like? That's the problem. Everybody's gonna have to find. Right. What are I do. I don't know. That's what I mean. This is stupid. Yeah. He's smoking a joint, the most exciting thing he's doing. What I'm getting at is, for me to make the 18th, I have to try to get it. Right. The 18th is the rally. Is anything that happens? There ain't no telling. That's all the militias are gonna be there, so there's no telling. So this is my national contact. Okay, last off, yep. So he's the one who told me about Adam. Yeah, he brought up at Columbus. How long was that? About a month ago, he brought Columbus up. Yeah, about a month ago for the Columbus. And then it was real short. Notice. But the 18th is not what? There's no plan. There's no plan, no. Not that I'm aware. There's no plan, but there's, like I said, man, you got people there that are fucking going, that fuck the rest of everything else. Let's just everybody see it. And then I went into the other conversation like I just said. Conversation of, you realize that you're gonna have to turn the fucking pistol to the stick next to you if he's protecting the motherfuckers. Look at this guy. That shit to happen. So I didn't expect that shit at all. Yep. Bam. So, worst case scenario, there is no Friday. No Saturday. No Friday. Yeah, well, no Friday, yeah. Yeah, we're all on lockdown, fucking running for our lives. Yeah. Or dead.
What are they referencing here?
They're talking about,
What are they referencing here? That's the
Okay.
speculation.
I didn't know where it's going. Can you put this in context?
they're talking about what could happen at the 2A rally at the state capitol coming up on the 18th, which is on Thursday.
Got it.
You still get 116. Could you put that up, please? And give us some context for this clip.
This is a discussion during the same training about what Ohio was about, the Ohio Dublin meeting, the
Okay,
jury in.
you can play. What are they referencing at the top of it?
Whether they'd be willing to go.
Willing to go to Ohio or willing to go to a different meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry. They're talking about the meeting on the 18th.
And Your Honor, just so the record's clear, please identify who they is.
Yeah, so this is Pete Musico and Joe Morrison and CHS Dan are involved in the conversation.
And they're
Thank you.
talking about whether they're gonna go to Grand Rapids to meet with Adam Fox after his invitation. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank
I'm down. Huh? I'm down. Are you? I'm optimistic. You got it. I'm committed to it. Just because I'm doing one with what's that, for the, what, is it meeting or, okay. Because I'm assuming this meeting is pertaining to what went down in time. This meeting is pertaining to kicking the blue dog. Yeah. This is, that point, but I'm gonna let you know right now, this ain't about fucking like get prepped and ready to go. This is about pointing rifles at fucking police officers and fucking politicians in the streets and fucking church. Yeah, this ain't no joke. This is Fallujah, this is starting Fallujah in the United States. That's what he's talking about. I don't want to. Yeah, what he's talking about. You listen to his message, right? His message is, listen, you fucking pussies, quit running your fucking dick suckers and let's do something.
So let's go back to the first page. Here, this is Mr. Musico telling Dan about what the meeting is with Adam Fox. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Musico's words, he's saying, I'll let you know right now, this ain't about fucking let's get prepped and ready to go. This is about pointing rifles at fucking police officers and fucking politicians and squeezing the fucking trigger. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. This ain't no joke. This is Fallujah. This is starting Fallujah in the United States, correct?
Correct.
Can you go to the end of the transcript at the second page? At this the last thing that Mr. Musico says here, is this a call to action?
Yes.
Objection, speculation, young.
Oh, I
Can't
think it's pretty
interpret, you
clear.
can't interpret what Mr. Musical's statements are. They make their argument to the jury. Jury makes that determination.
I can go through it. word
You
for
sit
word.
down so I can read it.
Oh,
Just,
sorry.
no, it's, you're blocking, you're moving a little bit and I'm trying to.
See, what my client is doing is he's giving his interpretation of what Adam Fox is saying. In an exhibit, like just like the opening, they're focusing on a small portion. So when the jury gets the whole exhibit, they can say an argument what they believe his interpretation is. But what he's clearly doing, the fact is, he's interpreting what Adam Fox is saying.
Yeah. That's pretty well been explained to the jury now, so let's just keep moving.
Keep going, Judge. You take that tab. How about 117? What's happening in 117?
This is a discussion with Pete Musico, Joe Morrison, and CHS Dan about the national domino effect.
And does this happen kind of immediately after the clip we just heard about?
Yes, it does.
Okay, you can play it.
But, I mean, I'm fine, that's what this out for. Adam. Yeah. You know what he's down for? Fucking kicking it off. Yeah. Start out kicking that shit off. Okay. Hey, Aunt Taylor wants you. Go see Aunt Taylor. Aunt Taylor won't calling you. So they're reporting. I mean, doesn't get an idea of domino, or we're gonna say, no shit, I'm gonna say. This day, this time. This day, this time.
Fan of that clip? Thank you. Couple of things I want to ask you about here. Okay. We're talking about Adam Fox, right? They say Adam.
Correct.
Okay. And then they talk about fucking kicking it off, correct?
Correct.
All right. And Mr. Musico agreed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then Mr. Morrison says That's why I said it's no shit. Do you see that?
Yes,
Okay. And was there a previous exhibit that we looked at where he was reporting back about the Dublin meeting?
yes, it was a wire post,
Did he use words like no shit?
correct.
Okay. And then there's a question here from Dan about Ohio. Is that because Dan wasn't in Ohio?
Correct.
Okay. And it says, are we coordinating some other states for it? And then Mr. Morrison said, that's the nationals, correct?
Correct,
Took a national thing to get it going, correct?
correct.
All right. And then Dan says, I mean, is it going to be like a domino effect, or are we going to say no shit on this day? Is that right?
Correct,
And Mr. Musical and Mr. Morrison both say this day, this time, correct?
correct.
Take that. After training, do the attendees go inside the house or talk and have a meeting afterwards?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and what happens then? Mr. Morrison, call anyone.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Morrison uses Facebook to place a call to Adam Fox.
Okay, and what does he do? What does he talk about?
He talks about arranging for a meeting at the Vac Shack in Grand Rapids, and they talk about, they feel each other out as to what their intentions are.
Okay, and so this is Mr. Morrison calling on Facebook, correct?
Correct,
Putting the phone on speakerphone, correct?
correct.
All right, and then Dan is present, is he not?
Yes,
Is he wearing a recording device?
yes, yes,
So is that recording device picking up the speakerphone call?
yes.
Is it great quality?
It's not good quality.
Okay, can you make it out and hear it?
Yes,
Okay, I would like you to take a look at exhibit 119.
I have it here.
Okay, and before you take a look at that though, what is discussed generally in the conversation on speakerphone?
They talk about attacking the Capitol, how many men are needed. And they talk about meeting at the 2A rally and then going to Grand Rapids to meet.
The 2A rally, meaning the Second Amendment rally, which is the next event on the significant timeline, 2 days later?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, 4 days later.
On the 18th,
Thank you. Okay. And
number 12
okay.
on the significant events timeline.
I'd like you to look at 119 now and tell me what that is.
This is portion of the phone call when Joe Morrison invites Adam Fox to train with them.
Okay. How long is the phone call, the full phone call?
I believe it's about 12 or 13 minutes.
Okay. And this is just a portion?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna move for its admission first.
Objection. Mr. Beller left early that day to go on a date, correct? He was not present for that phone call. Isn't that a fair statement?
I believe he was present for the phone call, but he did leave early that day.
So you think he was present for this phone call?
That's my understanding.
You're certain of that?
Judge Cleve, approach.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
I move for its admission, Judge.
Admit it.
And Your Honor, I just preserve my objection in
Yes.
the event.
Noted.
Um,
I mean, at least we can use Thursday to, kind of get to know each other a little bit, break the ice type shit. Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Dan did not invite Mr. Fox to train, is that right?
That's correct.
Thank you. Can you can take that down. Thank you. Can you take a look at 148?
Yes, I have it here.
Okay, and what is it?
Photograph of training on the 14th.
Okay, and who took that photo?
It says Dan took it.
I'm going to move for submission.
No objection.
No objection, Your
No
Honor.
objection.
148 admitted.
Thank you. Put it up. What are we seeing here?
This is a portion of the medical training, doing a March assessment.
Okay, and can you see Mr. Bellar in it at all?
Yeah, so on the far right, this is Mr. Bellar.
Great, thanks. And is there a person on the ground there?
Yes, right here. This is somebody laying down.
Thank you. Now, oh, you can take that down. Thank you. All right. So the speakerphone conversation, they talk about this Thursday. Is that the next significant event on the list?
Event number 12 on the timeline
And event number 12 is what?
is the meeting with Fox at 2A rally at the state capitol.
Who goes?
All three defendants go to the meeting.
Correct. So Mr. Bellar goes and meets Fox in person that day, correct?
Yes,
All right, Joe Morrison and Pete Musico
yes, and CHS Dan.
and CHS Dan. Okay, so is it recorded?
Yes,
All right, and where is the rally?
at the state capitol.
Is it live monitored?
Yes,
Okay, and tell me about live monitor. Is it easy to hear?
no,
Why?
because there's a crowd, there's a lot of commotion, and there's a lot of noise in the background, noise around.
Was there music at all?
Yes,
Are you able to tell whether they met in person?
yes,
Were you able to monitor and tell what they were wearing when they met in person?
yes,
And I want you to take a look at exhibits 120 and 121.
I have them here.
And what are they?
These are news photographs of the rally.
Depicting who?
120 is Adam Fox, 121 is Joe Morrison, Dan Harris, and Paul Bellar.
Okay, I'm gonna move for their admission.
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
120, 121 are admitted.
Put up 120, please. That,
That's Adam Fox,
okay, and what's he wearing?
wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Put up 121. Who's in this picture?
So left to right, that's Joe Morrison with the red Hawaiian shirt, Dan Harris, and Paul Bellar.
You familiar with exhibit number 122, which is a video?
Yes,
What can you tell me about that video?
it's a video that was shown on the news. A reporter approached the group as they were standing around.
Talking to each other?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. And is it fair and accurate as to how you saw that?
yes.
I'm gonna move for submission, Judge.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Mine
it's-
goes from 121 to 123.
Yeah, because the video, Judge, it's not in the binder.
Oh, I thought it was, just okay. Any objection?
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted.
Thank you. By 122. Where you play the video.
Yeah, I watched it.
Ugh.
Okay, before we play the video, can you tell me who's in this?
Sure. This is Adam Fox. This is Joe Morrison. I'm going left to right. This is Amanda Keller. This is Ty Garbin. This is Pete Musico right here.
Okay, thank you. You can play it.
Hawaiian shirts on.
Okay, can you play it one more time? Had a little lag.
Why do you guys all have Hawaiian shirts on?
Said there was a lot of background noise on that day while you were monitoring, correct?
That's correct.
Did you hear exactly what's being discussed?
Not live.
After this event, did Dan report back to you?
Yes, he did.
Did he debrief like we've talked about before?
Yes.
And did he tell you things that impacted your investigation going forward?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And what did he tell you about that?
He told me that when he met Adam Fox, Adam had hugged him and patted his shirt
Why was that important to you?
because Dan thought he was looking for a wire.
Okay, and so why did that matter to you?
It raised the danger of the situation. Because if Dan was found, it was a level of operational security that would put him in danger. And it impacted how I would continue to do recordings from then on out.
Okay. And did he tell you anything about Adam Fox's plan at this point?
They discussed it generally, but agreed to meet in the back shack to discuss it more.
At the meeting invitation they had received before, is that right? This is a pre-planned meeting.
That's correct.
So now they've met in person, correct?
Correct.
All three of these individuals met Adam Fox in person.
That's correct.
Okay, and then what is the next significant event that occurs?
That's the meeting at the back shack on June 20th, 2020.
What number is it on the significant event timeline?
That's number 13 on the significant event timeline.
That's 2 days later, correct?
That's correct.
Where is this meeting?
The meeting's in Grand Rapids on Division Street at the back shack.
Okay, and who attends from the Wolverine Watch?
Paul Bellar, Ty Garbin, and CHS Dan.
Still reviewing the chats, monitoring the chats?
Yes,
Does Mr. Morrison say that he will be going?
yes, he does.
Does he go?
No, he does not.
What about Mr. Musico?
Mr. Musico does not go either.
Okay. And so you're saying that this happens at the vac shack, and is this monitored?
It is.
Is it recorded?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the vac shack? Tell us what that is.
Back shack is a vacuum repair store.
And who works there?
Adam Fox does.
And are there times where he actually sleeps there at his business?
From time to time, he had marital problems with, or his fiance. He had relationship problems, I guess I should call it. And if things weren't going well, he would stay there at the back shack.
And where at the vac shack would he stay?
There's a basement under the back shack, and the basement extends under other stores as well in the back. And so it's more than just the footprint of the back shack, and it's accessible through a trapdoor in the back shack.
Okay, why don't you take a look at exhibits 123 and 24? I'm sorry, 123 and 124.
I have it here.
What are they?
These are search warrant photographs of the back shack from the night of the arrest, October 7th, 2020.
Okay, I'm gonna move to their admission.
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
123, 124 admitted.
123, please. What are we looking at here?
The front door of the back shack.
124. Okay, what are we looking at here?
This is a trap door, and it's opened, leading down into the basement that I was describing, where there's a bedroom that for Adam Fox.
Okay, thank you. All from the Wolverine Watchmen went to this meeting.
CHS Dan, Paul Bellar, and Ty Garvin.
Okay. You can take that down. Thank you. Does Paul Bellar get driven there by Dan?
No,
How does he get there?
he drives his own vehicle.
Okay. Does he live near Grand Rapids?
No,
Where does he live?
lives in Milford.
Okay, so he takes his own vehicle and he drives to the back shack for this meeting, correct?
That's correct.
How do the other two get there?
Ty Garvin drives with Dan.
Okay, and they go there, do they meet up outside? Do they meet up inside?
They meet up in the parking lot and they enter together.
Okay, and what happens when they enter?
Adam Fox brings down an ammo can and he collects their cell phones.
Is Dan fitted with a recorder at this point?
Yes, he is.
Has he got one or two?
He's got 2 recorders at this point.
Some go in the ammo can?
Yes,
So is this another instance of operational security?
yes,
Dan, Paul Bellar, Nick Garvin, we all go through the trap door down to the basement with Dan Fox?
yes.
Okay, and what happens there?
They have a meeting.
What do they discuss?
They discuss the 3-phase plan coming from Ohio. They talk about the team members that Adam Fox has that he can count on. They brainstorm different attack plans for the Capitol. And then they talk about the Wisconsin training coming up.
Okay, is Mr. Bellar there during this?
He is,
Does he engage with the conversation?
yes,
Does he contribute to the conversation?
yes.
I want you to review exhibits 125 to 139.
So these are all excerpts. They're recordings from the conversation in the basement of the back shack.
I'm gonna move for their admission.
Hold on, Your Honor, because I'm gonna have a couple objections.
I wasn't
Please, Your
logged
Honor.
simply on it. I don't know where we landed with this, my client was not present. I'm just logging that. Objection.
Your Honor, I would object to exhibit 125, and then I would object to exhibit 39. Exhibit 139 really is just how the top of it is characterized. It says Beller, Wisconsin is extension of Ohio.
139.
139, Your Honor. I don't have a problem with the jury hearing it. I just object to how it's characterized because the only statement in there is Mr. Beller saying, yeah, I'm gonna take off.
He's objecting to how it's characterized. I thought we weren't supposed to be interpreting. I mean, what is this?
Your Honor, this is an exhibit.
Closing.
It's not
This is
closing.
argument. This
This-
is not an objection.
This is an exhibit that's going back to the jury, and if it's incorrectly typed, it is objectionable.
What's incorrect? I was not aware that there was something incorrectly typed. I think I had this conversation with Mr. Kirkpatrick before. If you see any issues with the transcripts, please bring them to my attention.
I can show
you.
It's pretty simple.
Well, could you have shown me maybe last week when I gave them to you?
There's how many exhibits in this
Okay,
case?
just tell me what.
Right here, that shouldn't be there. Beller. He doesn't say anything about Wisconsin.
This is just a title of a clip. It has nothing, it's not
an
content of
exhibit.
it's not content of the recording.
It's an exhibit. It has a-
Fine, I'll take it off.
Thank you.
Happily scratch it off, please.
And then more importantly, Your Honor,
All bars, just whatever we're gonna send back.
if the Beller's
Understood.
removed, I'm fine. And Your Honor, the other one is exhibit 125T, and that would be under MRE 106, the rule of completeness. If I could voir dire, I might be able to get through it.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Exhibit 125T, you have that in front of you, correct?
Yes, I do.
And I suspect it talks in here about the taking of our governor to start a domino effect, is that correct?
Yes,
And is the purpose of this exhibit and reporting to show that the governor was going to be kidnapped or somehow taken?
I'm sorry, objection.
What
This
is-
is not about the purpose of the exhibit.
Cell phone, Judge.
Ma'am, Did you not see the sign on the door?
That's the stuff.
Ma'am,
And that's the stuff.
did you not see the sign on the door? Okay.
Judge, I'm sorry, Mr. Kirkpatrick is now asking about the purpose of the exhibit.
It's for you, Your Honor. It's an exhibit. They're trying to, he's got it in front of me. I have a couple quick questions. It's important.
All right, if she has some objection, she'll stand up and
Thank you.
voice them.
So this exhibit 125 is from the back shack, correct?
That's correct.
You had a chance to read through it.
I have.
And third conversation that Mr. Beller makes about we're going to be taking our governor. You see that paragraph?
Yes, I do.
Is this because you believe, or is this regarding kidnapping the governor?
It's a statement that said by Mr. Beller. I can't tell you anything more than what he said.
Can't tell me. Did you listen to the audio recording from June 20th, which is where this was taken from, correct?
I did.
You listened to the whole audio from June 20th, where this was taken from, correct?
I did.
Did you start listening to that audio? Your Honor, I have to
It
make
sounded
a
like
record-
cross-examination to me.
Okay, I'll get right to the point.
Please.
Right before these statements are made, they talk about arresting the governor, correct?
I'm not sure at the time. I do recall that there's discussion of an arrest or trying to obtain a warrant for the governor during
Okay.
this meeting.
And it was right before this.
I didn't prepare the chronology of that, so I don't know when it occurred.
Your
Okay.
Honor, I would have no objection to this exhibit if we start at 2:23 and play through there. What's going on here is we're picking and choosing, and this is huge.
And now he's arguing to the jury again. This is. and this
Let's
is what
play
I'm
it.
No, he's
talking
not.
about.
He's arguing about the exhibit.
Let's
as
play
being
it.
an incomplete exhibit.
They're the ones that are picking this.
The rule of completeness allows him to put in whatever he wants, Judge.
And I think
Later, when I do cross 3 days from now, or whenever it's going to be, if they want this in, that's fine. But all I'm asking for is the 3 minutes before this, just 3 minutes, Judge. 3 minutes before my client says this. That's all I want. And I brought it with me. Because this is a mischaracterization of
See,
the testimony.
he's arguing his closing argument now.
Your Honor, may we make an argument with the jury not present, please?
take him out.
Corey, I stopped my video.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All rise for the jury.
Like a kid, I wait until you start to the bathroom.
Yeah,
I go, I didn't handle the business. I mean, it don't have nothing to do with me. I'm going to play and cross.
that's fine. Absolutely.
All right.
Judge, may I?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I rose and earlier in the afternoon after lunch, we addressed the bench at the court of bench. And, you know, what has been happening here since the testimony has begun is Mr. Kilpatrick is slipping in his closing argument to the jury every time an exhibit is called upon for whether he objects or not. And look, I get it. It's trial. You know, I understand a little bit of wiggle room that he might have, but he's going far beyond the bounds here. And what he's doing is he's arguing his closing case to the jury. The procedure at trial is quite clear. We have offered an exhibit. It's either up or down. If he doesn't like it, tell us why. I mean, he voir dires the witness and he doesn't go into the foundation for the exhibit at all during the witness. His entire examination of the witness before the jury was cross-examination. He will get his fair chance. If he wants to put something in under the rule of completeness, he has an opportunity. He should not be asking the court now, oh, well, put in the other 3 minutes and I'll let you, and I'll sit down. I mean, all he's doing, and he's pandering to the jury. I mean, there's not a legal objection. So what I'm asking the court to do is to curtail Mr. Kirkpatrick's comments when we're talking about whether he objects to an exhibit. That's all I'm asking.
May I address the
Mr.
court, Your Honor?
Kirkpatrick.
I didn't realize this issue until my client and I read this. Well, my client read it. And he said, that's not even close to what happened. I didn't want to believe him at first. That's why I'm a little upset right now. Your Honor, you have the exhibit in front of you, 125T. And I'd like to read it into the record because I'm making a record right now.
Go ahead.
125T says, Beller Fox coordinate with other states. Domino effect. 620 shot back meeting. Transcript. Beller. Here's another thing is that I feel like if we're going to be doing this, we should probably get the other states involved. Not just like help us out, but UI, unintelligible. Fox, Adam Fox. We have other states on board. We have tons of other states on board. We have Virginia, Beller. Everyone's got to do their own state unintelligible. Fox, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin. We got, pardon my language, fuckers from Missouri, fucking Tennessee, Beller. What I'm trying to say is a dominoes effect. If Michigan is going to go and we're going to be taking our governor, I want to see more states do the same thing. Fox, that's all that we're saying unaudible. Keller, that's what we're trying to do is coordinate. That what we're trying to do is get people together. Beller, it needs to be the same day, same time, same day. Keller, coordinate it and execute it. You know what's missing here, Your Honor? Which I'm blown away. Right before this, and I mean right before this, not 10 minutes before this, not 20 minutes after this, right before this, because I just listened to it, they're talking about getting a judge and a sheriff to get an arrest warrant.
We've heard that about 3
To
times.
legally, let me finish, because I think this teeters on prosecutorial misconduct, quite frankly. It says we are trying to get a judge and a sheriff to get a valid search warrant to go and arrest the judge. Dan, or the governor, Dan is involved in this conversation. Dan is talking about, well, we got to go to a liberal town, or I mean, not liberal.
Sure.
We got to go to a small town. We got to find a judge. We got to do this. Then my client chimes in and says, yeah, we got to take all the governors on the same day, not kidnap, get an arrest warrant. Would it happen? No. But when you give this to a jury and you play it, and this is all they get, they want me to wait until cross-examination to deal with an issue as important as this. This very case rises and falls on the kidnapping of the governor. And this is what they pick and choose. And I've complained about this before, Your Honor. This is the difficult part. When we had this discussion, they're picking and choosing what they want. They're bouncing their timelines around. They're doing this, they're doing that. This is not some little thing I'm making an issue out of. If a jury reads this, okay, and they're popped up and they hear it, and then when I do my cross-examination, one of them's thinking about dinner tomorrow, one of them's thinking about when's this trial going to be over, and the other one's half asleep, it needs to be dealt with now. Something like this does. So if they want to bring this in, I want the entire part. And I can tell the court it starts right about 2:20, when we start at 2:22, and they talk about the arrest at 2:25. And then this. That's what I'm asking. And it's the fact that they want to just play this blows my mind. They're the prosecutors. Their job is to seek justice, not do this.
Judge, a citizen's arrest of the governor is not a thing.
Well,
It's called kidnapping.
that's why I think you mentioned getting a arrest warrant, which is
Exactly what they were talking about, Your Honor.
never
Which-
going to happen, but they're
Right?
talking about trying to find some judge who would actually sign something like that.
And he can cross-examine Agent Impla about it. And the jury's already heard now, it's talking about a citizen's arrest, and there's some, discussion of it or whatever.
Here's what we're going to do. I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you bring this in on your cross. I'm going to allow you to go into the information beforehand.
Sounds very
So
reasonable.
they'll hear everything right now about, okay, isn't it true? This is what led up to the conversation, and you can read through.
So I want to thank you, and I respect the judge's ruling, but the record's been made. So the prosecutor wants to go forward with this particular portion of
No.
this.
I mean, right now, when they put it,
Oh, perfect,
right now, when they put it in on your cross, I'm gonna allow you
perfect,
to set the stage for what was going on.
perfect. Actually, I don't
Wait,
have.
Judge, are you saying you'll allow him to cross now in the middle of my draft?
Yes, no,
Oh.
yes, if he is done, when you're done.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to this exhibit. And then I'm gonna allow him at that point on his cross.
I'll do you one better, Judge. I'll ask the questions about what happened before that, but could you give my witness a couple of minutes to
Yes.
just review the recording?
Take.
How's that?
Take 5
All
minutes if
very
you're ready,
reasonable.
if you need a little more time.
And maybe could have been
I
done,
just
you know,
listened to it.
outside of the, okay, well, I gave them to you Thursday, but you just listened to it. That's fine. But you just give me a couple minutes, Judge, let my,
Yep.
and I'll ask him
Just
about
long,
it.
take us-
Yeah,
I talked to him, said, take as long as you need.
sure. Thank you.
So when we get back, your objection will be cured by being able to take care of it right now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Was their position that the citizens arrest statute does not apply to the governor? Is that their position?
She said.
Can we take
Oh
a
my
break?
gosh.
Can we take a break?
Can we just take?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Judge, you want me to tell the jury 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone's got to do Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, we got fuckers from Missouri.
Is this 125?
Yep.
This is 125. Thank you. I'm sorry, continue.
Down the Michigan's gonna go, we're gonna be taking our governor, I want to be more states.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. So coordinate it and execute it.
And so immediately before this, what is the discussion again?
Discussion was about getting an arrest warrant for the governor for treason.
Exhibit 126, please.
Your Honor, do I get you ordered I could cross-examine immediately after this?
Did that not cover it?
No, I need to go just a little more, if I may, Your Honor.
If you think he's going too far, this is a little unusual, but I'll allow it to.
Well,
Go ahead.
you know what, Your Honor,
If there's something you think needs to be covered,
I'll cover it when I have him under cross-examination. I'll remind the jury where we're at that point. So I'm prepared to go
don't
forward.
forget.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Exhibit 126, please. Could you tell me what we're gonna hear?
Sure. This is further discussion in the basement of the back shack, talking about Wisconsin and Ohio.
Okay.
We would have to have somebody like to distribute information. So let's say it's up to you, and then you talk to somebody in Wisconsin. For now, that's pretty much how it's going. Like I'm the pretty much the communication over Michigan. Is that how Ohio works? Like don't tell us about what went on down there. Basically, we had reps come. We weren't the only rep from Michigan. There was another that came from Michigan. And the Knoll brothers, they're with Michigan Liberty. Bill and all came. Bill and Mike Knoll, they're with Michigan Liberty, but Bill came, but Mike didn't. But the Knoll brothers, I have a lot of faith in. They're a lot like us. They're ready to fucking step up. Like they're willing to go die for the shit if need be. They don't want to die in vain, though. They want to die on a cause.
Okay. Give me some context for this. We're talking about dying in vain and dying for a fucking cause. What cause is this meeting about that before this? What's been talked about before this?
That's the Dublin, Ohio meeting at the Brewery Inn.
Okay, but what's the cause that they've been talking about during this meeting?
That's liberty for the Boogaloo to start the Civil War.
Okay, thank you. The next one, 127.
It's about the strategy coming from Ohio moving forward and some of the visions they could implement.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I mean, there was pretty far back to the training off the iron. So I mean, there's things that we can do. There's things we can do to allow what tactical playing field for us, even amongst like the chaos and the fucking riots and shit. You know, like we can use that to our fucking advantage while they're all dealing with that shit, and that's all going on. And it's all this rioting shit. We're supposed to fucking yard. That takes them out of the fucking fight. We just take the fucking no, that's thing. We undercover. We basically be in the fucking the chaos. We just go here and do our little mission. Get the fuck out. And then that takes away from their resources, right? Now they don't have the cards out there. Like little things like that, you implement kind of strategically play along and you can function. But amongst all this chaos, like there is a lot of fucking opportunities for us to further what we're trying to do.
128.
I mean, let's be honest, the fuckers that they're out there breaking the Constitution, they're fucking running kids and shit, and child molesters, like, and we're sitting here just holding on to our morals, like it's you know, the greatest thing in the world. At some point, we gotta kind of fucking let go. I'm not saying you need to go do like evil shit, but fucking
At some point, you know what I'm saying? At some point, we're all gonna be fucking criminals in the eyes of their law.
What is this reference to running kids and shit and child molesters?
That's like a QAnon reference, the government doing some sort of like sex trafficking or something.
Okay. And what does Mr. Bellar call what he's talking about here?
He calls it patriot shit.
Thank you. 129.
I don't feel like we should raise anything over there. I feel like we should be actually staging and playing. Well, don't. I think we need to actually use David, like,
We're not working, we're not.
I think we're very, very.
Exhibit 131. You can tell me what this is before.
130. I think
Sorry.
we're on 130.
130, thank you.
This is the reference to Barry Croft.
Go ahead.
I mean, we got people all over there, like, yeah, very, I don't know, man. Yeah, as long as we get something, you know, like, how you saying with the Ford. I mean, are these guys kind of? I want you guys to be able to, you can get to go with us, because we're going out to that training in Wisconsin. If you want to go to, I'll put like 11th and 12th that weekend. What day? Like 10th, 11th and 12th, where's it at? Like, we're not, we're northern Wisconsin.
About exhibit 131.
Talk about attacking police officers who are protecting politicians.
Okay. Go ahead.
I totally want the whole entire fucking nation of police officers to say, fuck you and leave. Because then what's gonna happen? It's the fucking militia.
If that happens,
and we don't use fucking rubber bullets.
but that happens, that's our chance. Why the fuck do we care about going in and trying to take the police force role? Fuck that. No, we need to go take the top tier fucking out. That's our option. Take that top tier out, bro. Exactly, because now who's protecting the politicians? Let's go fucking charge and arrest them first. And then we can worry about putting back in a freaking public service, which is what it's supposed to be.
Tell me about exhibit 132.
This is a discussion of how many guys Adam Fox has at his disposal at this period in time.
Okay, thank you.
How many guys got like that? How many guys got like that? Like, for us, we got probably 125 now. Like, I know Eric Hall is good to go, Mikey's good to go. I know Danny and all his guys are good to go. How many guys are good to be on board? Well, I mean, I'm surprised with all the MLMs, good to go. So mention Liberty Militia. You're talking about Arkansas Constitutional Libertarians, I think, County. So we got 25. Well, there's gotta be the number. Yeah. And who are you with then? One. Okay. Okay, well, the way you talk, I thought you were in a different group. No, wrong. I mean, that's what we're all about, right?
We've got exhibit 133.
The reference Barry Croft.
Okay. Go ahead.
Barry's the one that we haven't even to that. Joe thinks they're good people. Barry is good people. He's a little fanatic, but I mean, he's got studied warfare for fucking years.
Is that reference there to Joe? Who is that a reference to?
Barry Croft is the one who's studied warfare for years.
Right, but who's the Joe?
Oh,
in the first
that's Joe Morrison.
Joe Morrison. Okay, thank you. Exhibit 134, can you talk about? Was that?
This is.
Thank you. Take a second if you need
Oh,
to just review
yes.
it.
So this is a discussion about training and using that for ambushes.
Okay, thank you.
He's got their ambush set to the point out, we can't just hold all fucking Russia with an army. They're gonna be strategies. What do you want to work on? Dude, I mean,
What do you think we should?
we're fucking down the train, whatever, man, I mean. Like, I told you guys, you give me something, so it's not like, you wanna have, it's such a, so it's not like a tree, and we can focus on one particular. You guys wanna be every fucking Sunday from now on.
Getting Joe, I think we're trying to fucking move together and.
Yeah, we're coming in for a while, we cover, but for now, I can do every other. You know, we've done it all. Work providing. We try not to blitz people like that, because you want them to come, but you also wanna be. Doctors actually, you know, for people. Well, for me, it's like fucking dollars and gas, it's fucking not shit. It's an hour and a half out for me to get out there. Or that, like that. Yes. The stop state rock, we're not lose. Yeah, we're fucking probably like an hour, 10 away too.
Can you go to the first page? I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions here, Jim.
Sure.
So these clips are all in chronological order, is that right?
Yes,
Okay, so prior to this clip, we heard about blown up police cars, correct?
yes,
Heard about other violence, correct?
correct.
Motivated by hatred.
And I'm gonna object to
politicians.
leading.
The
Leading.
motor, yeah,
I could just ask it in a different way.
yep, go
Did
ahead.
we hear about violence motivated by politics before this transcript?
Yes,
Okay, can you zoom for me? This, you know, just the whole thing that you did before so we can see a little better. So then this portion comes here where Mr. Bellard, where, I'm sorry, Mr. Fox is talking about, in the middle of the page there, we're fucking down to train whatever, man, I mean, correct?
correct,
Okay, and so Dan is asking, well, what do you want, guys want to train on in this next section, right?
correct,
And Mr. Fox tells the group, every fucking Sunday from now on, I think we should train every fucking Sunday, correct?
correct.
Okay, and right after that, what does Mr. Bellard talk about?
Talks about pillars, medical, we've done it all.
Okay, is he talking about his group?
Yes,
Okay, talking about range and clearing, right?
correct,
Okay, and so right after Mr. Fox says he would like some training every fucking Sunday, Mr. Bellard pipes up about the things that the Wolverine Watchmen are doing, correct?
correct.
The next clip, can you tell me about 135?
This is how to do squad movement and medical training.
Go ahead.
Instead of having like a blanket thing of, okay, we're gonna do this kind of stuff. What do you wanna work on? Like no shits, what do you wanna work on? And that's what we're gonna work on.
You know what I
I
want
think
to
the
work
biggest
on?
thing that squad movement, you know, April. I mean, so like, what are we now, it's got a point. Yeah. So we got. And I, since our group's big enough too, we can like take some chunks off and keep doing medical. Because people are gonna get. I think, yeah, medical. Yeah, I think, there's a lot of shit I still think gets really covered. We need people in medical, people will get hit by.
Exhibit 136, can you tell us about?
Yes, this is about Adam Fox talking to Joe on wire.
In that last clip, we heard Adam Fox wants medical training, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay.
I've been talking to Joe and Mark. Yeah, Joe's like. Talk to people, guy. He's a network guy. All of us trying to talk to different shows. Okay.
36.
Okay. I've been talking to Joe on wire. Is that right?
Yes,
So that's a direct, Adam Fox is saying that. So that's a Fox to Mr. Morrison, correct? Communication. And that's on wire, right?
That's correct.
Do you have any of those messages?
No, those are end-to-end encrypted, so we don't have access to those.
Okay, so there's conversation going on wire between Mr. Morrison and Mr. Fox that you do not have, correct?
Yes, correct. Our only window is through Dan on wire. So if there's individual conversations, we don't have access.
Okay, thank you. 130, thank you. 137, if you could tell us about it.
So this is a description of how the Wolverine Watchman QRF kitted up and went to Detroit, and they're bragging to Adam Fox about it.
Okay, so now Mr. Fox has talked about he needs training, and now Mr. Bellar is piping up talking about this thing they did, the QRF, correct?
Mr. Garvin and Mr. Bellar are in the discussion.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we got like standard comms and shit like that. When all the riots were going on, we were throwing like all the info we had on what was going on around the country. Everybody was watching live streams and shit was going down in Detroit. One of our guys had like fucking super fancy. He was like real time. So like we had our guys on the ground and then we were having people, so we didn't have to worry about fucking around with our phones. We designated like one guy to, okay, you monitor that because they're feeding information into you. And yeah, that was top notch. That's like us three and the other guy. Speaker that you met, one other guy, we were down in Detroit, full kids, but just 2 blocks out. We had a couple guys on scanners. I was fucking sitting there in the truck monitoring the airspace on my tablet.
We still remember South in the actual crowd was kind of like coming back.
Yeah, 2 guys.
Right.
Well, I like how you do it. So we had 4 guys on the ground in the protest relaying information back to us. We had a guy on the scanner. I was monitoring the airspace. We were full kids in the truck. That's how we. That was, yeah, that was
Mr. Fox says in this conversation, I like how you guys roll, man. Is that correct?
Yes.
138, tell us about.
This is a description of the group purge from the mandatory training on the 14th, June 14th.
Right, like the 4 days before we were talking about that training.
Yes.
Mr. Bellar here is describing how they purged inactive members.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've had to deny a lot of people, actually. Yeah. We got to seem like-minded.
Well, then we just couldn't have found we had like a 20%, you know, these guys that sit and just like fill the chat with garbage, but when it's time to come to train, they're like, oh, I don't, like we gave, we don't have to, mandatory training. Right? Get the time off, if you want money to get here, we'll give you money. If you need a ride, we'll give you a fucking ride. If you need ammo to shoot, we'll give you ammo. Like a dude that showed up didn't have a gun or anything, I would give him my AR and fucking I'm not sure. And we still have 20 people.
Thing in exhibit 139.
The description from Adam Fox about the Dublin meeting. Then the next FTX, which is the Cambria, Wisconsin one.
Cambria, Wisconsin one.
Yes.
That's on the timeline too, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Who put on the meeting? So Barry and Barry. How many stayers were there? Different numbers. My representative was just like, if I'm an emergency security before.
There
Why was the highest just?
Delaware.
I think there's more people there and it was like kind of a neutral, like a, you know, a little neutral place. Like we drove like 5 hours, some people drove 10, one person. There's gonna be another one, so we can go. Or, yeah, okay, so that's, yeah, so the FTX are gonna be that and training.
What we're talking about at the FTX, what we're supposed to talk about is the execution. We're supposed to talk about action. Right now, we've been trying to get people together.
Okay, this next, that's going to do, that's going to be targets where they say, okay, this is what we're fucking doing, all right. That's what I'm gonna ask you, like, hey, you need for training, we can have like little targets so we can, you want to train towards that goal. Like, what's our goal? Are we just training for everything? What's the work we're trying to focus in on? But you can train for fucking everything, but if you want to have an end game, that's what we need to put our work. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Yeah. All right, because
Okay. Could you go to the last portion of this first page. Okay, so at this point in the top here, Adam Fox is talking about how people from Ohio are going to go to Wisconsin. Is that right?
Yes,
Telling the group that that's sort of a second meeting from the Ohio meeting, right?
correct.
Okay. And then Dan is involved in this conversation too, right?
Yes,
Okay. And what we're talking about is the FTX. What we're supposed to talk about is the execution. What does that mean?
that's the attack plan.
Oh, okay. The execution of the plan. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. We're supposed to talk about action. Right now, we've been trying to get people together, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Dan asked, so the FTX is going to identify targets per se, okay? And Mr. Fox says, this is what we're fucking doing, right? Let's go to the second page now, please. And then on the second page, if you want to have an end game, that's what we need to be pouring our resources into. Mr. Fox says, we'll be all right. Dan says, you out, man? And Beller says, yeah, I'm going to take off. Dan says, all right, brother, be safe. Does Mr. Beller leave at this point?
Yes,
Okay. Does he walk out with Dan and Ty Garbin?
no,
Okay, thank you. And Judge, can we approach for just 1 second?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, Agent Abla. So after Mr. Beller leaves, is there any more discussion?
yes.
Okay, and then when the meeting is concluded, where does Dan go and Ty Garbin?
Well, they leave and they drive together and they go home.
Okay, thank you. Now, after this meeting, does anyone say that they're going to follow up with Joe Morrison about this meeting?
Yes,
Who says that?
Ty Garbin says that.
I'd like you to take a look at exhibit 140
I have it here.
and 142 as well.
All right, I have it.
Okay, and what are those?
They're wired chat logs from June 20th and June 21st from the leadership chat.
Thank you. I'm gonna move for their admission.
No objections.
No objection, Your Honor.
140 submitted.
And 142 as well, Judge? Thank you. Let's take a look at 140. Go to the top. This is the same day, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, what's happening here?
Ty Garbin stated to leadership, meeting went pretty good. Adam is going to link up with you about joint training and networking with some other groups at Boog Daddy Bunyan. Sorry, that's Joe Morrison.
Okay, thank you. At the bottom? What does Morrison reply?
Joe Morrison stated, yeah, sorry, boys. Glad the meeting went well.
Okay. Can you put up 142? Mr. Beller talk about the meeting afterwards.
Yes, so the next day on the leadership chat, this is 6/21/2020.
Okay, and this is the very next day, correct? I'd like you to read actually the whole thing. Could you you zoom the whole thing? Thank you.
Joe Morrison asked, what's up with Phil and the Null Boys at Dan?
Who are Phil and the Null Boys?
Phil Robinson and the Null brothers, Mike and Bill Null. They're the leadership of the Michigan Liberty Militia. That's the militia that Adam Fox referenced.
Oh, he referenced the Nulls being willing to die for the cause, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, go ahead.
CHS Dan said, from what angle? I haven't been online much today. Talked with Adam today. He just wants to work with the Null Boys. Have you guys seen the video and pictures of people being stopped by armed protesters, like being drawn down on? Side note, Adam liked how our intel worked. Gunny on vetting people, like old boy up north, throwing his home address and license plate. Doc hit him with how Detroit runs. Came in hot with info for that's for sure.
Okay, and what does Mr. Bellar say about the meeting?
Paul Bellar stated, I think the meeting went pretty well. The guys definitely got the spirit for this.
The guys definitely got the spirit for this. Did Mr. Bellar say in this chat, boy, that Adam Fox, he sure is crazy.
No, he didn't.
And after Mr. Bellar left, it's not like, was there any conversation on the sidewalk with Dan and with Ty Garbin on the recording where Mr. Bellar says, Adam Fox is crazy?
Not that I could find.
Okay. You can take that down. Thank you. Did Mr. Fox, Adam Fox, follow up with Barry Croft after this back check meeting?
Yes, he does.
Okay, does he talk about recruiting for Wisconsin?
Yes, he does.
Okay, can you take a look at 141, please?
Have it here.
Can you tell us what that is?
This is a Facebook voice clip. So it's the clip where you talk into Facebook and then you transmit the voice message.
Okay, and who's sending who the message?
This is Adam Fox sending Barry Croft a message about who he's invited to the Cambria, Wisconsin trip.
And how far after the back check meeting is this?
This is the next day, June 21st.
Where's the first admission?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection.
Standing objection.
Admitted.
Thank you. Could you play it for us, please?
Yeah, I'm fully intending on bringing a ton of people with me too. I'm getting a lot of these Michigan, or excuse me, Wolverine watchmen to come with, and then if I get some from Michigan Home Guard, might have a couple from Michigan Liberty Militia, might get a couple stragglers from other militias, but yeah, we're gonna bring as many people out to Steve's for that weekend as we can, and we're definitely gonna be there.
Mr. Musico, he does not go to that meeting, correct?
That's correct.
Musico follow up with Mr. Fox after the back check meeting,
Yes, he does.
even though he didn't attend?
That's correct.
Okay, can you put up exhibit 8 and go to page 4? It's already been admitted. Sorry, can you go to page 3? Thank you. Could you actually? Yeah, could you zoom in on the boxes on the left? Mr. Fox here communicating with Mr. Musico prior to the back check meeting.
Yes.
What about the highlighted portions?
So on June 15th, 2020, this is prior to the 2A rally and prior to the backcheck meeting, Adam Fox states, damn, well, we'll be at training on the 28th.
So
That-
Mr. Fox is already talking about coming to training at Mr. Morrison and Musical's house on the 28th.
Yes.
Okay, in the bottom section.
Adam Fox stated, yeah, we are having a powwow, all us boys. Pete Musico stated, oh yeah, I can't wait for the meet. It sucks we have to do this. Adam Fox stated, who else will?
And now can you go to page 4? On page 4, this is communications between Mr. Fox and Mr. Musico after the Back Shack meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay, can you highlight the boxes on the left, please?
So this is from June 22nd, 2020. This is Pete Musico, who states, we have to stay on the side of right. Adam Fox replies, but how? Adam Fox states, evil runs rampant through this world and we aren't doing our part to fight it. Pete Musico stated, no, but some evil, we are too small to fight. Sometimes God has to step in. Bro, don't get it twisted. I'm that guy. But I also know when I meet my maker, he will let me in. We are standing for liberty for all, but there is a right and a wrong way. Anarchy is not the way. Smooth, slick, and on the side of right always prevails. Pete Musico replied, I have a question. Have you ever shot at anyone? Adam Fox replied, no, I haven't. Adam Fox said, but the fire inside me, I will not hesitate when the time comes, and I know the consequences of this shit too. Pete Musico stated, I have in drive-bys.
Okay, there's a lot of talk here of God and being on the right side. Did Mr. Musico, when you've been reviewing his communications, does he talk about God a lot?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know him to be a position in his church?
He claimed to be an ordained minister and to be a leader in his church.
Okay, the second box, please. Conversation continues on the same day here.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Adam Fox stated, well, it's time, bro. Either we stand and fight now as Americans or we'll be running for our lives as criminals after this election. Pete Musico stated, never said it wasn't. Adam Fox said, we need all sit, talk some more, and figure out the best course of action. Adam Fox stated, our politicians become more and more elite, gain more power, and continue to steal from us and take our rights, all while being lawless themselves. Adam Fox stated, we can't get them to prosecute themselves. Adam Fox stated, can't really even play the legal game.
Okay, so while at this section here, well, despite them talking about legally arresting the governor, citizens arrest, all that business in the Back Shack, Adam Fox is saying we can't get them to prosecute themselves, can't really even play the legal game, correct?
Correct.
Okay, if you could go to the next page, please. On the left, please. Same day?
Yes.
Okay.
Pete Musico stated, come to training on Sunday. Bunyan will hit you with the address on wire. Pete Musico stated, we'll talk and train. Adam Fox stated, for sure, we will be there. Pete Musico stated, okay. Pete Musico stated, the main thing we have to keep our eyes on is the prize, okay? As long as we keep our eyes on God, the price is right behind him, brother. Pete Musico stated, none of us do anybody any good sitting in a jail cell because of something we said on the internet or something we said we were planning on the internet.
Okay, and the next box.
Pete Musico stated, just because I'm a church director, don't think I won't shed blood in the name of liberty and defense.
Mr. Morrison have communications with Mr. Fox after the Back Shack meeting, even though Mr. Morrison did not attend.
Yes, he did.
Okay, let's take a look at those. You go to exhibit 6, please. That's already been admitted. Can you go to page, can you go down to the next page? I believe it's page 4. Okay, invitation, keep going. Oh, can you stop for 1 second and go back to page 3? Okay. Could you highlight the one on the left? Now, this is before the meeting. Is Morrison saying, look forward to our meeting after?
Yes,
Okay, go to the next box, please. Fox is saying, be here between 4:15 and 4:24. Gonna try to get Barry on the phone around 4:30. Is that right?
yes,
It's all in reference to the Vac Shack meeting. Mr. Morrison did not attend.
that's correct.
Okay, the next box, please. Mr. Fox saying, I did download that Wire app. And Mr. Morrison is saying, send me username, correct?
Correct.
Right, and this is the communications that you did not have coverage on, correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Can you go to the next page, please? First box, please. Okay, so now this is 2 days after the Vac Shack meeting, right?
Yes,
When Mr. Morrison did not attend, right?
correct.
Okay, and what's happening here?
Joe Morrison is talking to Adam Fox. He doesn't like the fact that Adam posted the Dunn Road address publicly in some group chat.
Okay, so tell us about this.
Joe Morrison stated, yo, just say your post on the page and I will ask that you take it down. Training is done at my personal property where my family lives, where my wife and kids live. You've been invited as a guest. All my guys have been vetted. Adam Fox stated, okay, my bad. Joe Morrison stated, you're good. Just next time, ask me first.
Okay, next box. Same day?
Yes. Adam Fox stated, other people using this Signal one and it's linked to FB. Got rid of that shit right away.
What's Signal?
Signal is another encrypted app. It's basically a competitor to Wire.
Okay.
So it's another alternative method of communicating.
Okay, go ahead.
Got rid of that shit right away. SMH.
Stands for.
Shaking my head.
Okay.
Adam Fox stated, also, we have the location for the FTX posted in our group. Try to take as many as possible out there with us.
And what are they talking about here? What's the reference here?
They're talking about attending the training on Dunn Road on the 28th, which is coming up. They're talking about another chat, which I don't have, I don't know where it's located. I don't know what they're saying.
Okay. You said, it says here, the next line, you can finally meet Barry's crazy ass. We don't call him Boogaloo Barry for nothing. Is that right?
That's correct.
Those lines above it, are they talking about the training that's coming up at Morrison's house? Or are they talking about Wisconsin?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Barry was coming to Wisconsin, not to Morrison's house. So I was incorrect when I stated that they were referencing Morrison's house
Okay.
in Dunn Road. They're talking about the Cambria, Wisconsin training.
Okay, and then keep going.
You can finally meet Barry's crazy ass. We don't call him Boogaloo Barry for nothing. Joe Morrison stated, we do everything on Wire or face to face. Adam Fox stated, copy that.
That comment about we do everything on Wire or face to face, is that an example of OPSEC?
Yes,
Does it work?
yes,
Because you don't have access to those encrypted chats between Mr. Fox and Mr. Morrison, correct?
that's correct.
Okay. I want you to take a look. You can take this down. Thank you. I would like you to take a look at exhibit 145.
I have it here.
Okay.
Then we can.
What is it?
The screen capture of a Facebook post by Adam Fox from June 24th, 2020.
Okay. For submission.
Objection.
I have no objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
145 is admitted.
What's the date on this?
June 24th, 2020.
Okay, so 2 days later, correct?
Correct.
All right, and what's this first post here on the top left?
This is Adam Fox's post.
What does it say?
Says, welcome everyone. Our focus right now is to grow membership and fill some positions and see where everyone's skill sets are. What are some interests or things that you'd expect or want out of the charter?
Okay. Next box. What is this?
This is Joe Morrison replying to Adam Fox's post, which was liked by Barry Croft. Joe Morrison stated, I'm here as more of a representative and advisor per se. Adam Fox tagged Joe Morrison and said, I'm aware, LOL, appreciate you being here, bro. Joe Morrison tagged Adam Fox and stated, all I would advise is use proper OPSEC and secure comms for training in hypothetical scenarios per se.
Training in hypothetical scenarios per se, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Next box.
Joe Morrison tagged Adam Fox and stated, all tricks I've learned along the way and from some of my national contacts in the movement. Joe Morrison tagged Adam Fox and said, come on, Or, and I'll fix you. Some's learning. Adam Fox tagged Joe Morrison and stated, I intend to learn a lot from y'all, LOL.
Okay. So I'll fix you some learning, correct?
Correct.
It's Mr. Morrison offering some learning over to Adam Fox, correct?
Yes.
And then Mr. Fox replying back, I intend to learn a lot from y'all, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Mr. Morrison, now we're significant events timeline, make sure we're tracking here. Finish number 13, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's the back check meeting we talked about?
Yes.
And all these things we just talked about were in between that and this training in number 14, correct?
That's correct.
All right. That training's on the 28th, right?
Yes.
Does or that training, but after the back check meeting, still in that same time period, does Mr. Morrison go and meet with Adam Fox in person?
Yes, he does.
How do you know that?
Talked about it on Wire, and he talked about having a double date with Amanda Keller and Jada with Joe and Adam at Denny's.
Okay, a lot of people there. Let me break that down for a second. So it's an in-person meeting, right?
That's correct.
Is Dan at that in-person meeting?
No,
Do you have recordings of that meeting?
no,
Because Dan's not there, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, there are people there, 4 people, right?
Correct.
Who's there?
So Joe Morrison and his wife Jada Morrison
Okay,
have a double date with Amanda Keller and Adam Fox.
thank you very much. Okay. And so how do you know about that?
Joe told the group about it
Okay, and how did he do that?
through Wire.
Okay, and okay, aside from Wire, does he make a phone call after this double date?
Yes, he does.
Who does he call?
He calls the Watchman leadership. It's a leadership conference call.
Okay, when you say leadership conference call, who all is on this call right after the double date?
Ty Garbin, Paul Bellar, Joe Morrison, CHS Dan, and Dan Harris may or may not be on the call. I can't recall.
Okay, so both Mr. Bellar, Mr. Morrison are on the phone. Dan's on the phone. Ty Garvin's on the phone, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And what is the topic of that conversation?
Adam Fox.
Okay. And do they talk about Adam Fox coming to training?
Yes, they do.
Paul Ballard, during the course of that conversation, ever say, oh, Adam Fox is crazy. I don't want him anywhere near a training.
No.
Okay. Is there something asked during that phone call regarding Adam Fox?
Yes, Ty Garbin's asked to run a background check.
Who's asking him to do that?
Joe Morrison.
Mr. Morrison, talk about Adam Fox coming to training?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Beller never objects to that, correct?
That's correct.
You put up exhibit 8. Go to page 6, please.
Sorry, what number exhibit was it?
Exhibit 8, page 6. Okay. Bottom box there, please, on the left side. Read this and then give me some context for this.
Okay, so this is June 27, 2020. This is a direct message, a DM between Pete Musico and Adam Fox. Pete Musico states, okay, just an FYI, Jada that you are meeting with is my daughter.
Okay, there's no with, right?
Oh, I'm
Jada.
sorry, that Jada that you are meeting is my daughter.
Okay, and what does Mr. Fox say?
Adam Fox replies, we know, just got done.
Okay, now the time here, it's on, so it says 6:27, it's in UTC time, is that correct?
Correct,
Okay, this is actually 6:26
correct,
that he's talking about, okay, here in Eastern Standard Time?
yes,
Okay, so on the date of 6/26/2020, is that the date of the double date?
yes, it is.
All right, and that double date, Mr. Musico is not present, right?
That's correct,
Okay, Mr. Bellar is not present, right?
that's correct,
There's a leadership call, there's a call afterwards, right?
correct.
Mr. Musico's not on that call, right?
Yeah, that's correct, he's not on the call.
Mr. Musico is being informed here that they just met in person, correct?
Correct,
And how do you know that? Because Jada is who?
Jada is
You're on the lead.
Joe.
What?
It's getting too much into leading, using leading questions. Objection.
I'm just interacting with the exhibit.
Go ahead.
Okay, and Jada is who?
Jada Morrison is Joe's wife and Pete Musico's daughter.
Okay. Even though Mr. Musico is not on that call, he's being informed about that double date, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Judge, hold on 1 second. Okay, there's just a little bit more before I think might be a really great place to stop.
Our informed council, we were gonna stop around 3:30. They've had a long week and
Sure,
get them
Yep.
out a little bit early
got
today.
a couple more here and then
Go
I
ahead.
think it's a good place. Okay. In the lead up to this training on the 28th, we're still in the lead up to the training. Is there does Mr. Bellar discuss some things he wants to do during the training on the 28th at Mr. Morrison's house?
Yes,
Okay, and can you take a look at exhibit 144?
have it here.
And you can tell me what it is.
This is a wire chat log. It's excerpts from the leadership chat from June 23rd.
Submission.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor. Standing objection, Your Honor.
Noted. 144 is submitted.
Thank you. Can you put it up? Go to the top box. The leadership chat again, correct?
That's correct.
And who else in the leadership chat? In leadership?
Paul Bellar, Joe Morrison, Dan. Musico's not in leadership.
Okay, thank you. What's going on here?
Joe Morrison stated, nice. At Dan, what do you want to hit on? Dan asked, for training, Doc and I were talking, and even about Wisconsin. If we got guys that are going to go, that probably more CQB, room clearing and vehicle, mag drills and types of malfunctions. Thoughts?
Okay, what is CQB?
Close quarter battle.
Okay. Room clearing and vehicle, mag drills and types of malfunctions, correct?
Correct.
Okay, next box. What does Mr. Bellar say?
Paul Bellar stated, also wanted to run a medical battle drill and have a team try and treat a wounded guy under pressure while also taking it serious and holding security or dragging said down guy to cover, etc., etc. Joe Morrison responded, sounds good.
Okay. Can you take a look at exhibit number 146?
Yes, I have it here.
Okay. And what is it?
It's an excerpt from the leadership chat from June 26, 2020.
For submission, Judge?
No objection.
No objection.
Standing objection.
146 is admitted.
Fox? This is again 2 days before the training, right?
Correct.
On 6/28.
Correct. Yeah. So 626. Paul Bellar stated just spent $400 on medical gear.
Okay. Next box.
Paul Bellar stated 4+ TQs, which stands for tourniquets, combat gauze, Israeli bandages, splints, and a shit ton. Hard to put it all in a list.
What's combat gauze?
Combat gauze it's a heavy gauze that you'd use. Sometimes it has quick clot or clotting agent, but it's used to stop mass hemorrhaging.
Okay. What are Israeli bandages?
Israeli bandages, it's a type of bandage with combat gauze embedded on it. And then it's got a special plastic ring so that when you wrap it around, you can clip it through the plastic ring and apply pressure, direct pressure over the wound without having to hold your hand on it after you apply the gauze.
What are splints?
Splints are, they're basically used to support a break or support, they're for support.
Okay. Next box.
Paul Bellar stated, got it all designated to one bag too. Also got a phone -admin pouch for my plate carrier.
What's a phone admin pouch?
It's a MOLLE carrying pouch that attaches to your plate carrier, which is your vest that holds your ceramic plates or ballistic armor.
Okay. And this is, can you back out? The date on this is the 26th of June, is that right?
That's correct.
This is 6 days after the back check meeting, correct?
That's correct.
6 days after where we heard in that clip that Mr. Fox, he wants medical training, correct?
That's correct.
And then Mr. Bellar here is talking about all of the medical gear he's just purchased.
That's correct.
Thank you. I think this is a good place, Judge.
Perfect. Thank God. We'll see. Have a nice weekend. We'll see everybody here Monday at 9 o'clock.
All rise for the jury.
Council, we got you those cards.
Judge, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You've been here about Eric Morris.